Welcome to Cards of Insight, where we discuss all things tarot. And I'm Greg, and I live in London.
Anna here, joining you all the way from sunny Brazil.
Susan here. I'm here in Canada.
And Pavlina, greetings from London, UK.
And we are all tarot readers. Do you guys want to move over to the cups or?
Let's.
Knight of Cups.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The Knight of Cups. That's the guy on a horse holding a cup. The Knight of Cups. How good of a leader can his knight be? Do you think the Knight of Cups is a good leader?
I think it depends on the area. I don't think in all areas. I think in some areas, yes, he could be a good leader, but in others, no. I see him in arts more than anything. Yeah, in arts. But he also has tantrums, but it's a different tantrum. It's a frustration with things that others don't do, not that he didn't do. For example, I'm thinking of dance teachers. You know, if you miss a move, if you do something wrong, they almost pass out.
Okay.
It's like the world has come to
It's
an
like
end.
how they would handle it.
Yeah, but they're very artistic, and they I think they can understand. I don't know. It's about the way they talk to people, and they communicate with them what they want in art, mainly. That makes them a good leader. He can explain things well instead of just giving orders. I don't know, there's depth, there's more complexity for a leader, a cup leader than a wands leader, I think.
So okay, so it depends. For me, it's perspective. It's how I'm going to view the Knight of Cups, because in that image, he's proceeding with caution.
Mhm.
He's proceeding ever so slowly and proceeding with caution, and he
Mhm.
knows where he's going.
Mhm.
He also knows his destination. So, if somebody is a good manager or a good leader, and they're proceeding with caution, or they're proceeding with caution because they lack the knowledge, or they're proceeding with caution because they know that from experience, and because of the nature of the card, in the desert and going to a different place, I would say he's semi in a place that's unknown. So I would say he's not a confident leader, but he compensates accordingly. Like, hence, proceed with caution. He knows where he's going. So,
But if But if he's a leader, he could be diplomat, right?
Yeah.
That's the person who is like leading some of the negotiations as well. Diplomacy negotiation.
yeah,
I think
okay.
social causes as well. I think he's very
Nice.
passionate.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't know if his follow through would be great. I don't think he is, because he gets so romantically involved. Well, I'll say romantically, but very passionate about something. He may not know how to do the follow through. He may not have the ability to do that because he gets so wrapped up with his emotions. But if he has to do the dirty work of that social cause or make it happen, I don't know if he would be the best for that.
They can handle negotiation. Yeah.
He handles negotiation. Yeah.
Yeah, I always look at that river in front of the horse. For me, it's important because the river always changes. The water is always changing. And the way I see this knight is that he is a bit of he changes as he goes. He is empathetic, so when he is dealing with people, he might have a plan, But as he is actually doing things, he goes on feeling the air, the feeling the how receptive people are or not, and he changes as he goes. He has that flexibility that he works really well with. It's something that he has this way of adapting to certain circumstances, and that goes along with what I think Greg mentioned about, being prudent or taking caution, because he wants to feel his way through the situation before actually attacking. So he is more geared towards what is around him in modifying as he goes, more than the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands attacks. He is who he is, and that's it. The Knight of Cups, he is more, I don't know if the word is fluid, but we're talking water. But he kind of, adapts to different circumstances.
I also think that he leads more with his heart than with his head.
Oh,
A passive approach as opposed to active.
On the other hand, what he knows really well here, it's the cup, right? So I think he could be even a crime scene investigator. He knows his tools, or scientist. That he could be leader of that.
How does the cup relate to that?
Because he is like holding it with confidence, right? And he knows the cup, so it's a very precious cup for him. So that's the knowledge he knows. Just to keep it.
But with an analysis, when someone's analyzing something, I don't know if he would be good at analyzing. I think if it's because it's emotional. Like, I don't know as he would be a great detective for that reason, because I mean, I could see him being romantic, like if it was finding puppies. Those are passionate things.
But I think, through the emotions as well, that means observing the thing and having intuition, right? Of the cup.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about those people who analyze face, to see if the person is lying, if the person is trying to memorize something, or to avoid something through the way their face changes and their eyes move, or their lips or gestures or whatever. I think he would be really good at that, because being cautious, he is very observant. I'm not talking about being logical. I'm talking about being open to looking at people and what they have to offer and feeling it through the way. Because emotions are not dumb. Emotions don't have to be dumb. Of course, if he's madly in love, that's completely different. It's a different story. But if you know how people feel, and if you have seen people act this way or that way, that gets, I don't know, he has that knowledge, he carries that knowledge. When Pavlina talked about the cups, I understand what you mean. He carries a lot of stuff that he has been observing from people. He is an empath. Yeah,
he's an empath.
And if he is a leader, I don't think he's a leader of the big groups and big public things. He's the leader maybe of the few people,
That's a good point, Pavlina. If it was ranking, he would be like lower management.
Yeah. Or researcher, or the head of the lab, or something like that. Yeah.
He could be that receptionist or that person you meet as soon as you walk into a company, and they have lots of information. They know lots of people. They know who you should talk to. Like they are very connected with what has to be. I see them that way. I think they're a leader, but they're the behind. And they know they have all this, they have lots and lots of information on the people, if this is a new person coming in, how they're going to be received. And they might even give the new person clues as to, okay, when you go into that meeting, you need to, not cross your legs, or you need say certain things, or bring flowers, or this person likes you to say such and such, because they're very in tune with their audience.
Yeah, it's your typical. I've noticed that such and such has been a bit sad lately. Do you think we should talk to her? In an office situation. This is the guy that notices these things. Nobody notices, but
Yes.
he does. He does.
And I think if you want to know, if there is some issue or problem, you really want to know Nine of Cups in the company, because they will tell you how you can fix the issues with the person you had problems with, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He has a lot of tact.
Yes.
And if you take this to a negative and ill dignified thing, it could be propaganda and marketing, because they create the desires that people didn't know they had, right? They read people, they know what they need, they know their emotions, and they play with the emotions of people. So they can be very powerful. But I think the Knight of Cups is more powerful when he's ill dignified, because he can use that knowledge to his advantage. He knows what moves people. It's like a big leader that moves people and that make people do unimaginable things. How? He knows. He knows what buttons to press.
Want to do another question?
Sure.
Sure.
What would a Knight of Cups do if they found an injured animal?
They'd wrap it up and they would take it to the if they're not a vet already, they would take it to the vet.
The vet.
The swords would not have done that, and I'll tell you why. Because the swords knows if you move the body, you may cause more injury. Because you don't know what they've broken.
But the Knight of Cups?
I think the Knight of Cups would stay there until help arrived, and encourage it and keep it warm and stroke it and say, you're going to be okay, and call the relevant people and literally wait there until the ambulance gets there. Or do what you said, Susan, if they think it's safe to do so, they would take it home and they would adopt it.
Yeah. And stop the cars.
Yeah.
And stop the cars too. If that's on a freeway, it would be the one that stop here.
They would risk their neck to save that animal. Yes.
Yeah.
If it's a bear, not so much.
Yeah.
A bear.
Yeah.
I think he would even call a vet.
Yes.
Even if he's afraid of the bear, he would call a vet.
Yeah.
He wouldn't deal with it himself, but he would call the vet or somebody to save the animal.
I think it would be almost impossible
Yeah.
for a Knight of Cups to walk past an injured animal and not help. I don't think
No.
it would be possible for them to do that.
Yeah. And if they are a little bit sociable, they would go online and have a GoFundMe, and they would cry.
Yes, excellent. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rescue George, the injured tortoise.
Yeah.
Yes. Right now we have this thing with those groundhog gophers, and the people are fighting. They're fighting against poisoning them. So I'm thinking it's not very practical. Like when you have 1,000 gophers digging holes, and then we have these cup people rescuing the gophers. Well, what can I say?
I think it's probably pretty obvious. I think the Knights would stop for an injured animal. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
How cruel would they have to be?
They're not. No.
How could you not? It's an injured animal. Come on, man.
Yes. But as well, they would check if the animal had a water, if they are not dehydrated, because it's a cups, right? Water.
Yes.
Their house is probably filled with adopted pets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even gophers.
It reminds me those people coming on social media saying, I can't adopt this kitten. I have already 5 cats. And then you can see the post 6 card in the house.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Who wants to read the next question? Me again or somebody else?
Sure.
I can read.
Okay.
Okay.
Can the Knight of Cups end a relationship, or does the other person have to end it?
I don't think the Cups has got the heart to do that because they're in love, man, and they're controlled by their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to
I
throw a
agree.
curveball in because I like doing that. What if they fell in love with somebody else and they were more in love with the new person? Then would they still be able to dump them then? They'll have to, they're having an affair.
I think he will keep both.
They'll
Yeah.
keep both. They'll have an affair.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Depending on how emotional he is about his first date, he would have, a double a double pleasure there. He wouldn't dump the first one, depending on how attached he is. Not only to the person, to the memories and there's all that thing, oh my God, she's gonna cry and I can't see her cry, I'm gonna make her suffer. And yeah, there's this whole, soap opera going on there. So yeah, I think he would keep both.
Yeah, I think he's going to wallow around in guilt
Yeah.
that he doesn't love that person properly and feel very, very, very,
Yeah.
very guilty. And throw off his partner because she won't know or he won't know. What's wrong with you? Why do you look so unhappy? Why are you?
Yeah.
So and in essence, that other person is going to finally get fed up with this wet blanket of a person.
And maybe
then
that's the
thus hopefully
intention.
break up with
That's
them.
the intention.
Yep.
Letting things, take their own course.
I think for the person to end the relationship, they will go first to therapist to say, I fall in love with somebody else. What shall I do? Once the therapist will confirm, yes, you can leave the person and go, they will do it. Otherwise, yes, there is possibility 3 people involved in relationship, like Lover's Card in Marseille.
Okay. Another question?
Yeah, we can.
What would the Knight of Cups do if he's in love with 2 people? Oh, we just talked about that. He would keep both. He would.
Yes.
Can he really be in love with 2 people? That's my question.
Yes, I think it's possible.
He would think I think he would think himself that way. And I think there's the two of I think you see a lot of those Knight of Cups out there that have 2 households in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
And it's decades later that the women or men find out you had another family with so and so,
with kids and
or
kids
whatever.
too. I mean,
with
this
kids,
is the whole,
no less. With
the whole
yes.
shebang. Yeah.
No, I think he can be in love with 2 people. Let's look at the fact he loves his cup and then he loves his horse, right? The horse is practical part and the cup is that emotional needs, right?
Could be his practical would be the kids and the wife, and the other one would be that younger girl that he can, go out and have a great time with.
Yeah, but I'm asking about being in love, not loving. Being
No, I think it's certainly possible. I mean, if you've got
Yeah,
2
I think
kids,
it's
you love 2
possible, yeah.
people, and you love the wife or the husband.
Oh
So
no,
I don't see why
but the
not.
in love
'Cause
here is the passionate stuff. Thinking about the person all the time,
you
and
do. You fall in love with person just spending time with them, and intimate time. You fall in love.
yeah, with 2 people. I think you
Yeah.
can. I think you can.
If you're intimate with 2 people, you can fall in love with 2 people. I believe so.
Do you think he can recognize or she can recognize as a Knight of Cups what's the difference between being in love and infatuation? Because that is 2 things, right? Maybe they don't know if that's a
No,
real
I don't think they can distinguish. And I think in some cases they are in love with love. It's not even the person. it's the whole idea, it's the whole romantic idea of two souls meeting or whatever. But when they actually know the person deeply, then it's not the person they're in love with. They're in love with the whole concept.
And I was just going to say, like, probably if they had two families, they would be going and they would be loving just as much with that. Doesn't matter when they go see that family, that's what they're doing. They're with that other person and the children and their activities, and they
Yeah.
show up for them, and they would do that equally with the other person. Just as charming, just as loving, and totally giving themselves to both people. Yeah.
I've got another question. Thinking about being in love with two people, I'm gonna try and test the Knight of Swords. I'm gonna say, what
The
if
cups.
the Knight of Cups? I beg your
Cups.
pardon. What if the Knight of Cups caught their partner having an affair? Would they be able to dump them then?
They'd be devastated.
Yeah.
Would they be able to dump them?
I don't know. I think I agree with you. He wouldn't even say anything. I don't think he would have the heart to say or to scream or to blame or whatever. He would just, it would be such a blow to his, just, yeah, the heart. I mean, it's a Three of Swords here. It's a Cups card, but it's a Three of Swords situation. It's like backstabbing. And I think unlike other knights, this guy, once he is hurt, he will carry that hurt for the rest of his life. I think he wouldn't forgive.
I think they need the therapist, go to therapy.
Oh yeah,
But yeah.
they need help too, depending, yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they're supporting two families. And maybe more.
But I think if they fall in love with two people, that will be completely different, and then they can't choose. Who do you think would be the best friend of Knight of Cups?
The Knight of Cups' best friend.
Another Knight of Cups.
I think it would be something you could spend, because it depends if you've got a boy relationship or a female relationship. But I would still say it's like intimate time you spend together. So it'd be like if you want to go see a rock concert or you want to go see a film or some theater, you would have a certain friend you would take with you. Like I've got friends I would never take to theater, but I've got other ones that I would. And you would take a cups with you, wouldn't you? If you're going to go and watch theater, or and the cups person would take a person that would like that type of thing, like art and theater and drinks. They like a drink.
I think sometimes the cups, they get along with pentacles because the cups are very unstable. They're very emotional. It's a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs. And the pentacles are stable and solid. They calm the cups people. They bring that solidity that they need, and probably the guy who can lend you some money to go to the rock concert or whatever. So it's a bit different. It's a different energy, and it's a calming energy, the pentacles. But I agree, cups and cups is a blast. But pentacles also is a good companion, I would say.
I don't think when you have a two Knight of Cups as a friends, they would have a really difficult time to decide where they are going for dinner. Because one of them will say, "Oh, you love this Italian, let's go there," and the other couple will say, "No, you love this pizza place, let's go there." No, they will not find a compromise there.
Yeah, you would have to be. I have a friend like that, and she's always agreeing. She says, "Whatever you want," and it's like, "No, it's your birthday." Like I literally said, "But this is your birthday. This is your celebration. So we're going to go where you want to go." And then it takes them so long to decide until you have to kind of and you feel that they're wheedling you to make that decision for them. That's what I find. So I'm obviously not the Knight of Pentacles.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. And feel free to leave a comment.